I wanted to share some thoughts about emotion regulation. And when we say that phrase, emotion regulation, what it refers to is the skills of recognizing emotion when it happens in us, and then responding to it well, responding to it in a healthy or skillful way. And something that has been associated very strongly with skillful emotion regulation is what's called interoception. Interoception is, in effect, a mental skill that means perceiving the inside. So knowing directly and firsthand for yourself what's happening specifically inside the body. Being able to have a strong and clear awareness of what sensations are happening and how they're changing in the body as we experience different mental states like emotions. And this skill of interoception, when it is exercised, when our attention is with our body in this clear and discerning way, it prevents mind wandering from occurring as strongly as it might. And what's been shown about mind wandering is we do it about half the time. We're effectively lost about 50% of our lives in our own thoughts, in the stories and comments and narrations and criticisms that our ceaseless stream of thought throws at us. And when we're doing this, when we're lost in thought, we tend to be less happy. Even if we're thinking about more positive things, that can be associated with less of a sense of satisfaction with where we are and how our life is. And these two things, mind wandering and interoception, they cannot tend to happen simultaneously. If we're lost in thought, we're less aware of our body. And if we're clearly aware of our body, we're less likely to be lost in thought. And this is fortunate because while we might not be able to turn off our thinking, we can turn on or turn up the clarity of our own bodily sensations in our own awareness. And I'd like to suggest a quick kind of several little step process to begin or to continue experimenting with this on your own. And this little technique could be remembered rather as to name it, to find it, to scale it, and then to watch it. And the it here is just any feeling, any emotion, any mental state, any mood, any attitude, things like that. So if we meet whatever feeling or emotion we're experiencing, no matter what it is, pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, it doesn't matter, and we name it, call it by what feels like its proper name, what name matches the feeling, then we can find exactly where the sensations in the body that arise with it are. So if I'm feeling a certain type of anxiety, for instance, a restlessness, a nervousness, I might notice a busy activation, an unpleasant busyness in my stomach, or a tightness of the chest, or tense shoulders, or a furrowed brow or something. Wherever it happens to be located in the body, try to detect it. Try to be sensitive to the sensations as they arise with the feeling you're having. After you name it, you find it, then scale it. And this refers to scaling the intensity from 0 to 10. 0 means it's completely absent, you don't feel it at all. And 10 is it's so strong, it's either overwhelming or I can't focus on anything else. After you complete these initial steps, name it, find it, and scale it, sit back and watch it. Just sit with it and notice how it might change. Notice any change or shift or fluctuation, increasing or decreasing, moving throughout the body that might happen. And try to remain curious about this as you do it. Now, the best way to use something like this, or any part of it, is to punctuate your day with it, even when nothing is going on, seemingly. Because we're always embodied, we always have a body. That means we're always feeling something. Whether it feels like an intense emotion or simple and subtle, more physical experiences, we always have feeling. So it can always be named, found, scaled, and watched. So try this on your own by hooking it onto things you might already do every day, even several times a day. For instance, every time you enter a car or a new room, pause for just 5 to 10 seconds and scan through your body and go through these simple steps. Every time you, just before you eat a meal, anytime you're going to sleep, try for a few moments to name it, find it, scale it, and watch it. Whatever feeling you might be having, that's the it. And if you'd like to, you can also add to this to question it. This means to be curious also about what this emotion that you're having now is trying to accomplish. What does it want for you? What is its motivation? What is it trying to get? What's it trying to get you to do or say or not do or not say? You don't have to follow it, but you might choose to. So bringing that curiosity to all of these steps, to name it, find it, scale it, watch it, and maybe question it, can be a really important addition to an emotional life or some technique like this. And I'd invite you to try to pepper it in throughout your day and bring this experimental, curious attitude with you to try to notice what it's like to be a little more in touch, a little more directly knowing of your own felt experience of yourself and your life.